Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Please Put a Quantum Bullet in My Quantum Head to Put Me Out of My Quantum Misery. Quick question, friends. Remember when Marvel was good? Have you ever seen Spy Kids? Or Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Because if you have, you've already seen QuANTuMAnia. The only real differences are, I guess QuANTuMAnia has a longer runtime. Oh, and they swear in this one, which means it's for big boys and girls. Also, I have it on good authority that the scriptwriters for Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Spy Kids were adults. The movie starts with Scottish language, or Scott Lang for short, enjoying the perks of being a celebrity. Life is good for Ant-Man, or as this random guy calls him, Spider-Man. See, at this point in the movie, my brain hadn't melted into a thick paste yet, so I was still conscious enough to question things. Paul Rudd looks similar enough to Tom Holland, I guess, in kind of like a random brunette white guy kind of way, or at least in a way that I could realistically believe that an old man would confuse the two. But this is post No Way Home, right? So the general public has no idea what Spider-Man looks like. Also, I thought Sony still owned that copyright, except for like in the Spider-Man movies, so is he allowed to say that legally? Scott gets a call that his daughter, Cassie, has been arrested for shrinking a cop car, which can I just say, it is absolutely laughable that she would just have free access to PIM shrinking technology. Anyway, it's all good because the cops were doing something unjust, and Cassie's only character trait is helps people. ACAB or whatever, you know. Assigned cop at birth. Also, wait, that's not Cassie. What happened to the Cassie from Endgame? At least that one could act. This Cassie has the acting prowess of those smooth, featureless modeling mannequins they have at Hobby Lobby. It's family dinner time, and everyone's crapping on Scott for no good reason. They're like, yeah, you saved the world, but what have you done since? And the movie treats it like they're in the right, which, no. Sorry guys, but all of you except for Cassie would be dust right now if it wasn't for Scott, so I think a little respect is due? I don't know. So now begins the most annoying subplot in the entire movie. Janet refuses to share any knowledge she has about the quantum realm, even in situations where they absolutely need to know. It even becomes a matter of life and death, and she still doesn't tell them because, you know, manufactured tension's got a manufactured tension. And since she hasn't been warned of the danger, Ant-Man's daughter who can't act reveals her newest project, a device that can send signals down to the quantum realm. It's like a satellite for deep space, but quantum. Janet freaks out and tells her to shut it off, but whoopsie, now it's a portal because plot, and they all shrink down and are stuck in the quantum realm. Except, wait, didn't they establish in the first movie that you needed a full suit, and more specifically a helmet, to survive shrinking down? Yeah, they made a big deal about how you're supposed to like shield your mind from the radiation or whatever, and that's why it was such a big deal that Darren Cross's helmet shattered before he shrunk uncontrollably. I'm sure that killed him off immediately, and he won't come back from the dead as a freak of nature in a golden hover round. The family gets separated upon entry. Scott and Cassie run into some natives of the land. Yeah, they're just humans down here for some reason. And Cassie says, quote, "Quantum people in the quantum realm?" The people in my theater probably hated my friends and I because we all collectively went, "Ugh!" Scott gets knocked out or something, I don't care. And when he comes to, he can't find Cassie. The quantum people in the quantum realm are about to kill him, but then Cassie shows up at the last minute like, "No, he's not a spy, he's my dad." And this works immediately, but like, couldn't they both be spies? And the movie doesn't show how Cassie gained the people's trust because it doesn't have an answer for it. Somewhere else in the quantum realm, Janet and the other two are still walking around the quantum realm, hiding behind things, and she's still refusing to tell them anything about what's going on and why she's afraid of this place, who she's afraid of. She keeps doing the pronoun game like, oh, he's watching, but there's no time to tell you what's going on. And there's plenty of time for explanation too. I mean, it cuts back to them and Hank's like, ooh, the flowers here look pretty cool. Wow, things are weird here in the quantum realm. Quantum flowers in the quantum realm? Like bro, if you have time to stop and talk about the local flora, then you have time for some much needed exposition. But the movie assumes that you haven't seen any of the trailers, so it still won't reveal who Janet's afraid of yet. Then Janet gets them a ride to Bill Murray's Star Wars cantina, and the movie makes it painfully crystal clear that these two crusty old people have known each other biblically. That's literally the only thing we learned from this scene that feels like it lasts an eternity. Then, whoopsie, turns out he's a bad guy. Didn't see that one coming. And then they steal his ship and escape while getting shot at. And side note, I want a Broccoli Man Funko Pop, and come on, you know it's only a matter of time. We're like halfway into the movie now, and Janet finally decides to give a much-needed, long-overdue exposition dump. Apparently she wasn't just shacking up with Bill Murray, but with Jonathan Majors, too. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, at long last, it's Kangin time! He was banished to the quantum realm by the Council of Kangs, which is a very serious threat, and you should probably stop laughing because this does not sound ridiculous at all. I promise. They're scary villains. It doesn't look like a football stadium filled with a billion of the same guy in goofy costumes, I promise. Real threat here. But anyway, Janet wasn't just helping him cure his quantum celibacy. No siree Bob, she was also helping him fix his time travel machine thingamajig ship, whatever device thing. But whoa! Since the ship is wired directly to Kang's mind, touching the ship will give you a really well-edited PowerPoint presentation that shows you every single planet, every single innocent person that the owner of the ship has ever, shall we say, genocided? Conquered? And I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but man, it's contrived. I guess it works better narratively than just having Kang say, oh, by the way, I'm evil and I like to conquer places. Join me and together we will rule the multiverse as boy toy and sugar mama. I mean, he did basically say that, but like, only after she found out that he was practically time and space Hitler. So she breaks his ship and leaves him stranded in the quantum realm again. It's time to check in with Ant-Man and his daughter who can't act. The quantum people in the quantum realm get attacked by like this flying golden head thing with purple lasers, and they're like, oh, you led him right to us! And no, you took them to your camp, so whatever, I don't care. Anyway, at long last, it's m.o.d.o.k time! Bro shows up and starts m.o.d.o.k-ing all over the place. Truly one of the movie scenes of all time. And then he removes his helmet, and Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled! Surprise! It's our old friend Darren back from the dead from the first movie, and time has not treated him well. I think She-Hulk's CGI is still worse, but like, remember the good old days when we could argue over which thing is better? Anyway, then we see m.o.d.o.k's nude butt. And I gotta say, whatever graham crackers and apple juice the toddler who wrote this movie was on, I want some. I need to hook up, honestly. m.o.d.o.k brings the pair to Kang, who threatens to kill Cassie and make Scott relive that moment over and over again for eternity if he doesn't help him fix his ship. But I couldn't pay attention because Cassie is just kind of standing there in the background the whole time doing nothing with just her standard, like, slightly perturbed face that she makes. She's just like, when I say she can't act, I'm not being mean. I'm serious, like it's genuinely distracting to me. Scott, finding the idea of his daughter's death to be less than ideal, agrees to help Kang fix his ship. In doing so, he has to go through a probability field? So now Scott keeps multiplying into probable copies of himself, one of which is just inexplicably Paul Rudd in a Baskin-Robbins uniform. Something tells me they don't know how probability works. Why on earth would Scott be here when he still worked for Baskin-Robbins? But you know, it's just a reflection of the MCU as a whole these days, just jokes for the sake of jokes, with logic taking a firm backseat. Logical story structure is thrown to the wind because why have anything make sense when you can make a ha-ha funny joke? Scott tries to fix the thing, but then starts to fall off of his Wreck-It Ralph 2 tower. When all hope is lost, Hope swoops in, saves Scott, and together they both fix the thingy together. Oh yeah, Hope is in this movie. She is the titular Wasp. She shares the name of the movie with Ant-Man himself, and this is the first thing of consequence she's done in the entire movie. Scott is fully prepared to hand over the ship part to Kang to get his daughter back, but then Kang's just like, nah. Like, seriously, for no reason, he's like, yeah, actually, I've decided to not keep my end of the bargain. I'm actually going to keep your daughter, I've decided. Have a nice trip home. Sorry about ya.
We had a deal.
He would have gotten away with it too if he'd just given Cassie back like he'd promised. But you know, third act MCU CGI battle got a third act MCU CGI battle. The army of quantum people then rushes Kang's base, led by Cassie, who broke them out of prison. Ant-Man runs into the base as Giant Man because you can still grow and shrink when you're already smaller than the size of an atom, I guess. Multicolored lasers shoot all across the screen like Star Wars on LSD. It was at this exact moment in the theater I felt my brain completely check out. It was like, nope, nope. Too much stimulation, too much is happening on screen, I do not care about trying to keep track of all of it at once. And honestly, it was extremely freeing. Oh, and with zero preamble, Cassie tells m.o.d.o.k to not be a jerk, and that does the trick. The homicidal maniac is a good guy now. Sure, I guess. Why not? When all hope is lost, Hank Pym shows up with a whole army of CGI ants. Why not? Why not throw another huge CGI army into this thing? Like I said, I've already very much checked out. m.o.d.o.k, now proudly calling himself Darren again, goes on a suicide run to stop Kang. Spoiler alert, his death is the only major permanent one in the movie. And it's played off as a joke because why wouldn't it be? He's a giant face with baby limbs. Our intrepid heroes start escaping through a portal, but not before a battle-scarred Kang emerges from the ant carnage to start beating the crap out of Scott.
We're not done yet.
And then Scott says, I don't care if you win, I just need Kylo Ren to lose. Or something like that. He's prepared to sacrifice himself to keep Kang trapped there. Oh no! Now Scott's gonna be stranded in the quantum realm. Not if Hope has anything to say about it. She swoops in and saves the day again, because that's the only thing her character's allowed to do in this movie. Do you guys remember that mode in New Super Mario Bros. Where you'd screw up too much and then Luigi would show up to help you? That's all Hope's allowed to do now. Hope is Luigi confirmed. Hope destroys the ship engine thing again, and Kang gets sucked into it. Yay, the villain's lost! But, oh no. Now the heroes are stuck in the quantum realm with no way home. Well, at least in the darkest of times, these two still have each other. Oh, never mind. They can just reopen the portal again. Never mind. There were no consequences. Oh, good. Okay, I was afraid for a second there that my modern MCU movie would have, you know, lasting consequences. So, yeah. Besides a really goofy post-credit scene showing the Kang soul, that's about it. With all that said, I'm gonna give m.o.d.o.k and sometimes also the Wasp QuANTuMAnia a 3 out of 10 for quality, a Kang out of 10 for ironic humor, and a Darren out of 10 because hashtag justice for Darren. Go watch Winnie the Pooh instead. And as always, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you when I see you. Please put a quantum bullet in my quantum head to put me out of my quantum misery.